Good evening, people. So it's Wednesday night. It's a Lads Talk Health, but I'm on my own tonight. So I'm going to do more of a Q&A, and we're just going to talk on a number of topics. So I've got a few that spring to mind. I'm just going to wait for a number of people to join in. I'm going to try and make this as interactive as I can and try to answer as many questions as I can. So James won't be joining us tonight. Unfortunately, he had a close uncle of his that passed away. And he also asked me to actually share this story because on the death certificate it's been put down as COVID. But he said that the uncle was put on a ventilator. So the wrong diagnosis. For anyone that has looked into this stuff, the ventilators are the wrong diagnosis for any breathing issues, especially related to this. And unfortunately, he passed away today. So he got a phone call about 2 hours ago. So just sending my love to his uncle, to the family. But he's just asked not to come on tonight, which is obviously understandable. I wanted to come on and deliver a few different topics and like I said, make it engaging, answer any questions that anyone does have. And I was thinking on a number of topics. So we're called Lads Talk Health. I'm originally from the health and fitness industry as well. I've been a personal trainer for over 16 years. Haven't really gone too much into that side at the moment, but I would like to touch on looking at health from a holistic standpoint. Where we are in the world at the moment, if we focus on our health and we improve our health, then life becomes a lot easier. We can handle all the stresses that are being thrown at us. Highborn free planet. So yeah, just waiting for a few more people to join in. As we're starting as well, we've got a big event on Friday night. So the little girl that James has been working with over the last 6 months now, a beautiful girl called Daisy. She and her family have gone through a whole ordeal, and Jazz. She's gone through a whole ordeal. So this little girl was diagnosed incorrectly to start with, went through the whole NHS system. The mum knew something that wasn't right, and we've done this video on Lads Talk Health, and if you actually watch it all the way through, it's shocking. How the pharmaceutical industry actually works, how the NHS works, how they're all in cahoots with each other as well. So the social services got involved as well. But James has been working with Daisy and the family, and this girl's now started an aggressive form of chemotherapy. And before this was even presented to her, and before they had to go ahead with it, they showed her all the stats of what was likely to happen from this chemotherapy. And not one of the things that they listed actually suggested healing. It was prevention. It was just to slow things down, to try to make the best of a bad situation, which, if we know how the body works, that's a load of rubbish. And this girl was making progress all the way through. She'd been doing a number of different breath work, meditation, a lot of stuff on the subconscious mind. She's now gone through this chemotherapy, and not one of these side effects, this big long list that they gave, she hasn't had any of those so far, and she's literally winning. And yesterday she held her breath for over 5 minutes, 15 years old, and she's coming into her power every single time. So James has put on an event this Friday, and Daisy is actually going to be joining in, and we're inviting as many people as possible, and bring your kids and stuff as well, because what James is going to take you through is some of the experiences that we do deliver and what we do work with our clients. But everyone can join in. It's our breath. It's something that keeps us alive every single day, but it's something that we don't capitalise on, and we don't use our lungs efficiently enough. And this is a clear case to show that when we do tap into our system, the amazing body that we have, we're unstoppable. And he's going to be guiding you through an experience. Some of you that joined us last Friday, that was kind of a little taste of it, but Daisy's going to be on too. And the whole idea is to breathe for Daisy, share the breath, connect, and also show the power of what this can actually do for you and your loved ones. It brings you right back to your energy. It completely clears all the noise, all the chaos that's going through your head, and allows you to tap into your intuition, your gut feeling. And one deeper, that's your soul. And when there's no noise, there's no ego to give you all these doubts and all these fears and all these limiting beliefs. It's pure truth. And when you can start connecting with that, going with it, you start making, or every decision you make is the right decision, because your gut feeling is always right. We just don't trust in it enough because, again, the ego gets involved. Things that we don't think we should do or don't believe that we could do, or someone else has told us that we shouldn't be doing it. A lot of time we get influenced by that. So it's going to be 8 o'clock on Friday night. On the Lads Talk Health page, there's an Eventbrite link as well. And we're just encouraging everyone to come down because it's going to be special. But also Daisy's family is going to be there as well. And they didn't realise how popular she's become. She's been an inspiration to James. Like, I've been working with James for a number of years now. And every time he comes off the call from her, always calls me. And the passion, the enthusiasm, the teachings that he gets from this little girl. And he said the other day, her record before was like 4 minutes, 7 seconds, and he was looking at the clock and he was getting worried. It's like, should I wake her up? I'm not sure. And this girl come out a minute later. So 5 minutes, I don't know anyone can hold the breath for 5 minutes. This girl's doing it on chemotherapy. So that's quite special on its own. So guys, I'm going to just ask a question today. I want to make it free-flowing. I'd love to make it as engaging as possible. Like, use me. I'm very adaptable. I've got a lot of expertise in the line of work that I did before. But I want to try and get as many answers or many questions, answers for the questions that you guys have. So a few different topics that we can go on. I was going to look at health and just how we approach health. A simple way of approaching health, which will then transition to every area of your life. For people that are looking to make changes, weight loss, get fit, lose weight. The health, if we just focus on the simple things and look at it holistically, rather than the approach that we've been doing for like the last 60, 70 years, you'll reach these goals very easily. But on top of that, you'll start seeing performance at work improve. You'll see your relationships improve. Your sleep will improve. Like, literally every area of your life will improve and you don't have to do too much changes. So that was one topic. Another area that I love working on is human behaviour, the subconscious mind, and anything to do with habits and awareness. So I can go through a number of different things then of how we can literally hack into our body, become the commander which we are, and understand how the body has our back every single day. And also how we've been indoctrinated over the years to rely on other things to make us better. From very young age, we get a cough and our parents give us Calpol. We get a headache and we go straight to the aspirin. We're always seeking something to make us better. But we just knew the power that we had and also the tools of what to do with it. We could literally keep our immune system at 100%. We wouldn't need anything. So I think health, loving yourself and loving everything around you and everything else. Okay, I'll keep health the main topic, but this can go off in any direction, and I'm going to encourage guys, help me out today. This is my first live that I've done on my own, and the more questions, the easier it is for me to go with. If you guys have got a pen and paper as well, I think there'll be some key notes to look at. So first kind of intro to this then. When I mention the word health, what words spring to mind? What would you associate health with? Living. What else we got, guys? I love it, a blessing. It is a blessing if we understood that we live in a life where health literally goes on the back burner. And health literally has an influence on everything else. A gift. See, I'm loving these answers, mind, body and soul. I wish more people answered like this as well. So I'm coming from the fitness industry, and whenever people come in to get healthy, there's always two main routes that they would look at. And when you ever ask people, are you healthy, they normally base it on these two main things usually. So we have fitness, exercise would be one, and the other one would be nutrition. And usually if you've got a good diet and you train all the time, you're classified as healthy. But we're missing out so much more. So I'm going to give just a bit of a toolbox for you, and to first of all, imagine your whole life is 100%. If we looked at health, we got 100% circle. And I think the first thing that we can all agree, we can never be 100% all of the time. And too often we always want to try to do the longest run, the most weights. We all go in, all in. And a lot of the time that has a massive impact on other areas of our life. It comes back and hits us hard. The recovery, our sleep, our nervous system, it all gets put into shock. So if we start looking at health more holistically, we have health as this one thing. But when we look at health, there's so many different components to it. So if we just go exercise, nutrition, and we just focus on that, and we leave other areas out the way, we're literally lacking, and we can struggle to work at optimal. Because if we go too hard in one direction, it's like a pendulum, it will come flying back. So we heard the word balance. If we started looking and addressing and bringing awareness to every other area of your life, you won't have to go as hard. So a lot of people struggle to get back onto the health kick because they know what it used to feel like when they went to the gym. They know how long it would time would have to be invested into their week, which they might not necessarily have at the moment. And this fear of what we've had before stops us from actually doing anything. So even using the past, present and future continuum, which I like to use with most of my coaching practices, it allows us to bring it back to basics. It allows us to start thinking, okay, anything I have done before is irrelevant in terms of where you are now. It's almost like forget your past, because a lot of people think, oh, I can't do that again, or I'm not as fit as I used to be, or I'm not as thin as I used to be. And that fear of not being there and knowing what you did back then stops us. So as the teachings always say, your past doesn't define you, but what it does do, it teaches you. So within that, we can go back and find out what did work, what did we enjoy. But at this moment in time, the key part is acceptance. Accepting this is where you are now, that doesn't change, you're here, that's it. And if we can let go of all the things that you have done before and all the things that you should be doing and want to do, both of these means you're not present. And within this comes fear, comes procrastination. I'll leave it till Monday. You get to Monday and you're like, oh, I'll wait till tomorrow. And we just get ourselves in this cycle. So it's to almost think, clean slate. I'm here now and I'm going to pay attention to where I'm at the moment. So like within the PT world, when someone ever come to me to get results, the first thing I would do is get a starting point. I'd literally find out where they're at the moment, their current reality. Might look like weight, body fat, be a fitness test, strength tests, do measurements, photos. But it's so important to do this. So many people shy away from all of these things because they don't like where they are. They're not happy with what they got. And then I use the word excuses. It's like I can't use the scales because it's bad for my mental health. I don't track calories because it's too difficult. We say all these different things, but again, there's a fear attached to it. It's almost accepting, okay, this is where I am. I don't take photos because I don't like the way I look. It's not important the way I look. But my biggest thing is that we need to have these starting points. That is the fearful part. That's the starting part. But knowing that if you got that, whatever you do going forward is progress because you decided to move forward. So it's the first thing is like we need to get a starting point. So rather from the physical aspect, let's get a starting point of your current reality. The acceptance becomes very hard because deep down we know we could be doing better. Deep down we know that if we did, we would feel better. Deep down we know that we're maybe taking too many other things on in our life and we have put ourselves on the back burner. But again, that is where you are now. That is what is going on. So many people are like, oh, I'll just wait until I get a tiny bit fitter before I start. Or I'll just wait when I've got a bit more time. These are excuses. Change the word excuse to choice. You choose not to do something. All of a sudden that then becomes back on you, and that's the hardest thing, is to admit it. An excuse is kind of, take it away from me. There's all these different things that are stopping me do it. But if you change that to a choice now, you choose to start and you choose not to. And sometimes there's things that you don't want to do, so I choose not to do it now. Anything to say I can't do, that's an excuse. There is always a way. So going back to the current reality, I want you to look at health now from about 8 to 9 components. So I'm just going to list them out. But let's take that 100% will. First question, just to ask yourself, just the word health, what you take of it, as a percentage, where would you say you're at your current reality? Be honest with yourself as well. So you've got that number just saved in. I just want to show you how sometimes we are hard on ourselves when we look at things in just one big block. When we start dissecting things and going into each element of it, every role has a part to play. So within health, this is kind of a nice vague look at it. So the words to write down or to even think of, and I want you to answer yourself. 65%. I like that. It's a good number. So many people will be lower than 50% that I've been speaking to recently, especially with what is going on at the moment and how that adds into stress. So the first one is just exercise. And again, however you deem exercise, 25%, by the end of this call, it'll be up, guarantee. And guys, if you are willing to share, why have you given yourself that number and what's stopping it getting higher at the moment? Okay, so exercise is the first one. So however you deem exercise, I'd like you to just rank yourself. Not sure how to work it out as a percentage wise. You could do it out of 10, 0 being the worst, 10 being the best. Where would you say your current reality is at the moment? Again, this is just tools for you guys to use. The problem when it comes to fitness, there's a lot of people within our industry, this is the way you have to do it. And if you don't do it this way, that's wrong. You shouldn't do this, you should do that. This is all about you as the individual. It's all about the goals that you want and the reasons why you want to achieve those goals. And then to be honest with yourself. We're very influenced. I choose to keep it low. Okay, we got numbers to work with here. So we've got exercise first of all, and I'm going to go around each of them and give you kind of examples of how we can break that down even more. Next one is nutrition. As a percentage out of 100, what would you rank yourself for nutrition? Fueling the body, nourishing the soul. Within nutrition, we can also, actually I'll save it as a second one. 1 out of 10 is easier for me. That's fine. It's got to work for you. Actually, let's make it simpler for everyone because we can come back to the percentage after we turn it. 0 being the worst, 10 being the best. It's a lot easier to make that decision, and you can go in the in-between numbers too, 0.5s. Okay, so keep these. I missed the first questions. First one was just exercise. The second one was nutrition. And all we're doing at the moment is just bringing awareness. Where are you on your current reality right now? Not what you've done before, what you need to get to. Where would you say your current reality is? By just bringing awareness, change will happen. Next one, sleep. 0 the worst, 10 the best. How would you rank your quality of sleep? How long do you sleep? What's your quality like? How do you feel in the morning? Okay, love this, guys. Okay, next one. We can call it a few different things. Meditation, silent time, breath work. Or I like a time out for yourself, you time, no distractions. I got loads on sleep, especially for parents of kids. We pay attention to our own energy, it changes everything. Okay, next one. Self-development. investment in yourself. Again, it's your own interpretation of these words that I'm using. If you're watching Lads Talk Health, I'm hoping that number goes up slightly more as well. Okay, next one. Social life. Communication with others. Friends, family, however you determine it. Lads Talk Health community. Okay, I like this. The numbers are higher in this one. Okay, next one. Let's say movement, stretching, or just being active. Naught being the worst, 10 being the best. For anyone that's just joined, we're literally just going around a spectrum of health, and we're just getting people to rank themselves, naught being the worst, 10 being the best. Big fat 10 there, love it. Thank you, Gemma. Okay, next one. Getting into flow. So what I mean by that, things that you love doing. Painting, singing, dancing, rock climbing, running. Anything creative. Getting into flow that gets you out of your head. Jigsaw puzzles that my parents love. Getting into flow is one of the most powerful things for healing, for bringing happiness. And ever since this COVID situation happened, so many people are just disconnected from getting into flow. A lot of people stay away from it because they say it's selfish, because they don't have time to do it. Love this. There's a big mix of numbers. And this is what I love about health in general, is that everyone is so different. Everyone has their own goals. But can you see what's happening already? The numbers are so varied. But when we go into the fitness industry, or when we go to these professionals, they give us one program. They give us one diet plan. But everyone's so different. So we don't normally have a starting point to go off of. Next one. Positive mindset. Positive thoughts. Self-love. Naught being the worst, 10 being the best. How would you rank yourself in that? Be honest. Love that. Awesome. Okay, so we got all 8. So with those numbers, first of all, I want you to try to find the average that you gave yourself. Roughly, thereabouts. The next question I want you to answer in your head, or even answer on here. What did you get from just answering, doing that? Anything come up for you? Any ideas, any insights? Okay, so for anyone that missed this, we'll just quickly go through them again. Exercise, nutrition, sleep, meditation / you time, no distractions, self-development, movement / activity, getting into flow, social life, positive thoughts, positive mindset, self-love. So that right there is an answer that comes back quite a lot. Got more high numbers than low ones, surprisingly. Which then comes back to self-love. A lot of times we're so hard on ourselves. Life maybe isn't where we want it to be. We've got a lot of stresses on at this given moment. And when we're caught up in this, sometimes we forget about ourselves. I found it hard that there's a lot to do on the holistic scale. That this is only just basic. We could go even further. But a lot of time when we say the word health, a lot of time when we say the word fitness, we focus just on one thing. So if we now look at it from a broader perspective, we can start seeing that there's a lot of other areas in our life that can influence our health. A lot of people, well, the main goal when I was a personal trainer was weight loss. Literally everyone would come in for weight loss of some sort. But weight loss only meant fitness and nutrition, and they forgot about all these other areas. So just looking at this as well, before we go on to the next bit, I'm going to try and get the ego to move out the way completely. So you're going to do this again, in your head. Imagine if you've got, let's say that you've got kids, or you've got a partner, or you've got someone who knows you very well. What scores would they give you if you answered for them? For me, it's not about the numbers, it's about the mind as it plays. This is all part of the mind as well. So then the numbers, again, it's a good starting point, because I'm going to show you how the mind impacts all of this. And as I mentioned at the start, we have to let go of what has worked or what doesn't work for us to start with. It's a clean slate. So just a quick one to re-answer all these questions. Get someone else to answer those for you. And do it through their eyes. So if you say that you sleep well, if you say that you're positive on your thoughts, would someone else agree with them answers? Family and friends would score much higher. Can I ask you to share why that would be? Is that true? Okay, self-love's coming up quite a lot tonight. We'll touch on that a bit more. I don't know their score. I don't think they know me. Well, to score me. Family centers call me much higher. They value me more. It's interesting, right? My others call me lower because I moan about everything that's going on. I always see the negative and never the positive. There's a lot of outcasts in here. Mum says I need to relax more. I do struggle 24 hours. But a common thing that's coming up at the moment, a lot of us are hard on ourselves. A lot of other people see us in a higher light which we don't see ourselves. So the first question is, why is that? The second one, and this is for me as well, deep down we know we can be doing more. On all these, where we're at, yeah, it might look good for other people and I might be in an okay place. But deep down I know I can be doing more. Which comes back to the first bit where I said, you can never be 100% all the time. We've now kind of got a current reality of where we're at. And when we go into our foundations, the Lads Talk Health, showing up as your best self. I deep thinking open-minded to possibilities of unis, therefore family would give me 5 to 7. I love that. Is there any numbers or ones that you answered that your family give you a lower score on? Great answer. Okay. So whenever we're looking at health as well, a lot of time we put time limits on. I need to get this by this time. I need to get this by a holiday. I need to lose weight in 3 months. We put all these pressures on ourselves, always thinking the worst never happens. It's true. And that negative side usually starts with the words that we use. We don't even realise we put them on ourselves. And the words won't, can't, they always come into our language without realising that holds us back too. So I'm going to come on to that because that touches on the positivity mindset. So, as I mentioned, we always seem to put time limits on certain things to reach towards. And a lot of the time that can be our hindrance. Sometimes that's put on because we managed to do that previously. Sometimes we just think that that's meant to be the way it happens. Sometimes we just want results straight away because we're not happy where we are. And what I want people to start realising, health equals life. Life is every single day. We live life every single day, which means health should be a part of our life every single day. For some reason, these words, health, exercise, fitness, they're like isolated. So it's like, right, I'm going to do fitness 3 times this week. I've got a healthy week because I'm training 4 times. I want to try and get out of these numbers that we put on ourselves. These are traps because when we don't hit those numbers, all of a sudden I've had a bad week. I'm unfit now because I haven't trained once this week. So if we can start looking at life every single day, this then allows us to start putting a blueprint in that if I was just to focus on my health every day, and we go through each one of those things, simple things that you can do, you can look at this list and you can say, what one thing can I do for each one of those? And to start with, in this week. And again, I want you to be honest with yourself. Make it realistic, just knowing that if I touch all these components of this week, of the health, that I mentioned, it's a pretty healthy week. I've ticked all the boxes. So going through the list, one thing that you can do this week on each one of those. And again, growth. Growth is how we move forward in life. If we took things back to the cellular level, simplifying life, if I took one cell out of the human body, that one cell has your whole makeup on there, your personality, your DNA, your hair colour. We can tell everything about you on that one cell. Our cells only have 2 responsibilities. Everything comes in 2s. Positive, negative, ego, soul. On the cell, grow or protect. Let me just show you the power of our cells. If we put that cell in a petri dish and we put food in that dish, by the end of the day, that cell will move towards the food. If we put the same cell in a petri dish with poison in there, by the end of the day, the cell moves away from the food. What cell's in the grow state and what cell's in the protect state? It shows you that our cells have their own brains. That's epigenetics. You can go and test it up. That's as fact as it is. So if we can bring our life back to the cellular level, what am I doing right now? Am I growing or am I protecting? If you now look at health and you're doing one thing on each of those for the week, you got a big fat tick, a big fat tick. Are you growing? Are you protecting? When we're in a protective state, that's a fear state. Our body's not in harmony. And when we're in a fear state, I'll show you how the system works, and this will be another speech as well. We have parasympathetic and sympathetic nervous systems. Our parasympathetic is rest and digest. It's our calm state. So when we're in harmony, we have our energy centers, we have our organs. Literally, our blood just flows through here. But most of us live in a fear state, our sympathetic. And what happens is when you're stressed, your blood goes straight to your limbs, as if you was to run. Your brain doesn't know what that stress is, it just knows stress. There's a signal of stress there. So our blood a lot of the time is in our limbs, which means it's not working optimal on our vital organs. And if we keep living in this fear state, we're not getting the blood and oxygen as we need. This is where illnesses and imbalance come. So again, if we looked at health holistically and we're touching all of them, we're growing, which means our body's more in harmony. That's where the balance comes in. Is this all making sense so far? And all I'm trying to do today is just to educate you on, we've got control of our own life. Life might not be what it used to be. We might not be as fit as we used to be. Fear weakens the immune system. That's it. And fear, again, it comes in twos. The opposite of fear is love. So if we live our world in love, what would love do? Everything we approach with love, we're in harmony. But again, coming back to the thoughts, coming back to the stresses, a lot of that love gets deflected. So if we can just spread it out, we can start healing ourselves a lot more. Makes sense. And again, guys, I can go into this in more detail. It's a lot easier on a workshop when you've got your pen and papers and we all start at the same time. But I'm hoping there's getting you thinking a tiny bit. And we're going to go around each one of those just to give you a few things. So you've got your list of what things that you can do. And success means growth. So if you've made that list and you know you covered each one of them, and it's realistic, tick, 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 tick. Gives you a focal point. How good is it when you know that you've done something that you've set out for yourself? Not some crazy program that's got a 5-day split and you've got to do upper body, lower body. Doesn't need to happen at the moment. What happens next is, what can I do next week that's a tiny bit more than this? And each one of them. And we just work on that. And we work on that. This is your foundation. This is the minimum requirement. This is brushing your teeth. But if you keep just working on the minimal, you can always then throw in more. This week I'm going to train more. This week I'm going to do that. And if you don't, it's fine. I've still hit my foundation. What tends to happen is that we forget about our foundation. And if we don't train, we don't do anything. We've had a bad week. We're unhealthy. But training could be just going for a walk. That could be your exercise for the week. And you can be okay with it knowing that you still focus on these other areas. Any other questions on that so far? Okay, so let's go round then and look at each one individually, just to give you some ideas and just to give you a different outlook and ways that we can start thinking about improving. So tonight I was meant to be doing a live with James, and James was going to interview me over my experience working in the fitness industry. And we're going to touch a lot more on exercise, weight loss, nutrition. So I won't go too much into this, but I just want to get people an idea of what exercise actually means as well. So when I say the word exercise, what does that mean to you? What sort of things do you do in terms of exercise, or what do you want to be doing? What have you done before? Because from a health standpoint, exercise, if we look at it from energy, effectively our main requirement there is to send energy all around the body. Every single part of our body, we want to be energizing it. And exercise is one of the best ways to do that, because we get the blood circulating. We get the muscles, we get the joints, we get the tissues all moving. We get them hydrated. Exercise equals exhaustion. But what's that exhaustion linked to? Because again, this is where if we start in at a foundation, it could be walks. It could be then the distance of the walk. Could be then the elevation of the walk to then going up to a jog. It means stronger physically to me. Like it. And the key for all this is just taking the pressures off of ourselves. We've got a lot to look forward to. So why not look forward to it whilst we're feeling really healthy? Can fear be a case of fight or flight? You go toward. Can fear be a case... Yeah, so fear is fight or flight. That's your sympathetic nervous system. More than exhaustion equals the feeling good after. Okay. That makes me more motivated. If you're not sweating, you're not done exercise. I was told, yeah. And these are the misconceptions. And again, we put that pressure on ourselves. Oh, I didn't work hard enough today. Or I didn't feel as exhausted as I did before. But But if you can just set out what are you going to do for that day or that week, and you get the tick, that's all you need to worry about to start with. Again, we can then look to progress on each one of these areas. There's going to be certain time points in your life where you'll be focusing more on some of these than others. But as long as we're focused on the others, because they all intertwine with each other. And a lot of these things, if you look at them, will all connect with the other ones. People that go out for a run, that would still be getting into flow. That would still be activity. Okay, so exercise. Exercise is literally moving the body. And we've got all different types of exercise. We don't need to compare to what our friends are doing. We want to be doing something. That can start from just moving the body. For all we know, we could have an injury. We've been inactive for a long period of time. We don't have to go down the gym and do an hour workout. We don't have to go to CrossFit and get absolutely smashed. We just need to be moving. And doing something as little as 20 minutes will help, because it's still better than what we did the week before. Daily never put pressure on how much. We've got yoga, we've got the gym, we've got runs, we've got hikes, we've got classes, we've got endurance, so cycling, rowing. Exercise requires several t-shirts and a bigger towel. Exercise is getting rid of trapped energy. And you see here as well how we have all our definitions of exercise. This is why it's so important to create our own plan. It's really important to work with people that can advise us, but not to tell us, not to dismiss other things, not to say this is the only way we can do things, because a lot of this has to come from love. If we don't enjoy something, we're unlikely to do it. Even though we think it's good for us, I'd rather get you doing things that you love and we get in the progression slowly, and then we get results. If we hit it harder, then you've got the right things in place to make sure that you're recovering better too. Make sure that you're not injuring yourself. Okay, so I'm going to keep that just on exercise to start with. Garden, again, this is playing with the kids, getting out in the garden, like being active at work. A lot of people put pressure on themselves, said, I haven't done anything this week. They got a labouring job. They're a postman. They're moving all the time. These are things, again, when we're being hard on ourselves, these are the things we've got to say, okay, yeah, I was moving well. So when I look at health, then maybe I should pay attention to some of the other ones. Awesome. When I go on to the exercise with James, I go into a number of strategies, some cool ideas and how you can start implementing them into your life, but also how that ties with the body, how the body works. And again, how we can hack into it. So the next one, nutrition. When everyone ranked themselves on nutrition, what did that mean to you? How would you look at nutrition and how are you determining what is healthy? If you're regularly cleaning the house and you've got a lot to clean, yes, definitely. I'd put that more under the activity and movement. Again, to be honest with yourself as well, would you classify that as exercise? There's no right or wrong. Okay, so on the nutrition, we've got so many different components to nutrition, and a lot of people would ask what the best diet is, the quality of food, how many calories, what is my breakdown of macros or proteins, fats and carbs, what supplements do I have to have. Nutrition falls under loads. Within that, we can look at alcohol consumption, which plays a big part as well, because it's all energy that we're putting in. I want to brag about the nutrition. Let's hear it. The people that put the low numbers in, can I just ask what that was, why that was low as well? I'm going to go into a lot more depth in nutrition because there's a massive misconception, and we need to again look at the foundations first. A lot of time when we are overweight or when we're ill, we overeat. So it's important to actually just know what that looks like from an energy balance. It's not something that we have to rely on, but it's important to know. Because when we are overeating, our body goes into inflammation. Carbs, protein shakes, lots of greens. Macros to me was to do with maths. Yeah, and it doesn't work for everyone. My main philosophy for that is, one of my main jobs is to educate clients. So rather than just tell them, eat this, do this, this is the exercise to do, I want to show them what influence it has on their body. Because it's the moment when you start understanding is where you can start making the decisions. So I like for people to track their food to start with. And hear me out on this one. Because so many people put a resistance up, don't track, calories don't work, it's not about calories, it's all about the food you eat. I agree to that to a degree. But most people are so unaware of how much they're actually eating. And I like to use the analogy of, if I was to say to you that prices, so price tags, was the same as calories. And I said, go into Harrods, you can't see any of the prices, go and have a balanced spend. If you don't know how much things are and how much things cost, chances are you're going to overspend. So we need to get an idea, first of all, of how much are we eating? And I can show you what that looks like when it comes to putting on weight, maintaining weight and losing weight. And after a while, you just get an idea of it. But a lot of people are shocked when they see how much they're over-consuming from things like alcohol, from things like the pastries. So just as an example, 500 calories per day, so 3,500 calories per week, is equivalent to 1 pound of fat. So if we had a pastry every single day, and then we had a large cappuccino, if we just removed those two things, you'd lose 1 pound at the end of the week, guaranteed. And that's sometimes how simple it is. And on the flip side, if people eat really healthy, they'll have a smoothie for breakfast, then they don't know why they're not losing weight. They're eating healthy all the time, and I ask them, what's in the smoothie? Well, I've got avocados, got some nuts, I've got this, I've got that. And that on its own is 1,000 calories. So it's like pretty much half of their daily allowance just in that breakfast, because they're having healthy. Processed foods, supermarket convenience and education. So I don't encourage processed foods. For me, it's as healthy as possible, but that's not realistic for some people. If we've gone from one diet for a long time, for me to say, right, get rid of all that, you've got to do this, this, this and this, it's unlikely to happen. So again, if we look at our life and zoom it out, it's small changes. That starts with the awareness first, starts with understanding how much you're eating, and then starts, and this was sugar is addictive. Again, I'm going to come on to sugar when we go into nutrition too. It's a myth. In terms of being addictive, it's not the sugar. It's the actual fat and the salt contents within the food. So when we say sugar, we normally associate it with chocolates, with pastries, with sugars, with sweets, sorry. But I'll give you just an example of why you don't put on weight from the sugars and why it's not always addictive. It's an energy source, we burn it. But if you look at endurance athletes, what do they put down their throat the whole time? Energy drinks. Sugar things, literally just all sugar. Why they don't put on weight? Because we use it as fuel. So sugar is actually a bit of a misconception. It's the actual foods itself, and usually it's the combination of fats and salt. Cut out meat and dairy, maintaining. So with the nutrition and diet as well, as we can see, we've got loads of different people saying loads of different things. Then we go on social media and we've got loads of people saying this diet, that diet, this calories. It's confusing. The best thing that we can do is find something that we can stick to, first of all, to understand why things are happening and to understand what we need to do to make the changes that we want. And then on top of that, we can start enjoying the process a bit more. We can take the pressure off us when we do have the old chocolate bar and we do have certain things that we'd normally deem as unhealthy, because overall we've got our game plans sorted. White as in white substance. And another thing as well, listen to our body. A lot of people say, I just want to listen to my body and know how it feels. If we really listen to our body will tell us when it doesn't like something. We'll feel lethargic, our stomach will start grumbling, we do get aches and pains, our skin does get bad. The nutrition plays a part in that too. So again, I'm trying to give just a foundation today. I don't want to go too much into it because there is so many different opinions on this. My aim is just to kind of simplify it a tiny bit more. But the key part to start with is just being aware, what are you eating throughout the day? A lot of the people I used to train with parents, and they were baffled why they were putting on so much weight, or they weren't losing weight starting these programs. I had one lady that her diet was amazing on paper. Didn't realise how much olive oil she put on all her cooking. And just the olive oil consumption alone was the reason why she was putting on weight. I had other parents that actually tracked their food and couldn't understand why. But if you're putting on weight, it means you're overeating. That's as simple as. It's nothing to do with metabolism, it's nothing to do with anything else. It's we're over-consuming somewhere, so we need to find it. I had one parent that used to eat the leftovers when the kids didn't finish their dinner. Without them realising they have another 500 calories per meal, because they were just finishing off the food without even realising. So a lot of this comes down to awareness. But what this also allows us to do is there are certain things that we do like. We don't want to remove them. Because if we just take everything away out that we don't like, it becomes an obligation. It's a chore. It's not enjoyable. And this is your life again. I want you to enjoy your life. I want you to be in charge of your life and make a game plan that you can stick to. That's taking your power back. That's educating yourself. And that's knowing then what doesn't serve you. You have the power to say, actually, I'm not going to do that now. A lot of times we don't know what's going on. We don't know what things mean. We think things are bad. We think things are good. But we then can't move forward from it. So I'm going to move on to sleep next, because nutrition is going to be a big one that I can take you through. I've done a number of presentations before on this as well. And when people get that knowing to start with, the results happen really quickly. You just feel more energized. You're in control of your food choices. And again, letting go of that self-harm, I'd say, when you beat yourself up because you've had something done. There's another actually interesting fact, because we talk about the best diet as well. And there's a thing called blue zones. If anyone knows what blue zones are, there's about 7 around the world. And blue zones is a community of people, a location of people that are said to live the longest. It might be in Japan, it'd be in Greece, it'd be in Italy. There's certain pockets around the world. And if you looked at their diet, all of their diets are also different. Some will have dairy, some will have a lot more oils, some will have a lot more vegetable, a lot more meats. So there's not one set diet that fits all. And we can see that just by looking from a health perspective, people live the longest will all have different ones. So again, we need to find something that works for yourself. Next is your sleep. The first thing I'd encourage everyone is to get a book called Why We Sleep, Matthew Walker. He breaks down and shows you all the benefits to sleeping, all the science behind it as well. So sleep, science says, from 7 to 9 hours is optimal. We often sometimes have the attitude of, if I sleep too much, I'm not doing enough work. A lot of people say, I can get by on 5 hours of sleep. You might feel okay, but what it's doing internally for your biology is a completely different story. A lot of people get maybe less sleep in the week because of their work, and then they try to catch up at the weekends. From a biology standpoint, you can't save your hours and bank them like you can do, for example, on calories. So the key thing to sleep, I'm lucky to get 5 or 6. Can I ask why it's a 5 or 6 as well? Because sleep a lot of the time is our mind. We've got so much going on. Without even realising there's a stress, there's a thought about work. We're not present. I've got a number of different exercises that you go to sleep like that the first night. If not the first night, by the end of the week, you'll be sleeping like a baby. A lot of time as well, people will say the words, I have bad sleep. I am a bad sleeper. Your past doesn't define you. Body just wakes up at 4 a.m. constantly. Okay. And same time you go to bed as well, I doesn't turn too much lately. I struggle with sleep. How many of you are watching these conspiracy videos at night time at the moment? They're watching all the children stuff at night. Because sometimes what we feed our mind in the evening then stays with us before we go to bed. So there's certain things that we can do. We can do an end of day routine. Could I blame mattress? You're welcome to, but I'm not believing that as an excuse. I have 2 young kids that wake me up in the middle of the night. I've got a lot. I've been working with parents recently on sleep as well. So if kids struggle to sleep, the first thing we need to check in with our own energy. Are we bringing other stresses into the house environment? Are we stressed ourselves because it's an energy that we're sharing? And there's certain things that we can do where you're just in the room when they go to sleep and you just check in with your own energy. I've got music vibrations as well. You can share this calming energy, and it's a game changer. I haven't done any work on cats. It's fixed me and I sleep like a baby now. Chiropractor, yeah, so it's a stress in the body, so that's how it releases that. The pain wakes me up. So these are good, guys. Just being aware of what's causing your sleep to be maybe not so good. These are things that we can address. But if this keeps continuing and your sleep's not improving, then these are things that we need to change. If you have a good night's sleep, chances are that the next day will be completely different. The next week will be completely different. When you are met with stressful environments and stressful situations, if you had a good night's sleep, you can deal with them a lot more. A lot of us have responsibilities for other people too. So we get a bad night's sleep, our energy's about 75% straight away. Then we've got the day to take on. Then we've got to give our energy to other people. We run on an empty half the time. I feel like I can't switch off. So switching off again for me would be all in the mind. It's trying to clear the mind and sit in with the body. And again, these are just another examples. So here's a question for you then, because it's not about me just telling you. What one thing can you do this week to improve your sleep? Leading up to the sleep, maybe switching off at a certain time, maybe getting off the phone, nutrition. Be honest with yourself. What one thing do you think you could do that could improve your sleep this week? Lock the cat out of the room. Turn the TV off in the bedroom. It definitely makes a difference. There's less noise, less distraction, but also the TV, the energy that comes out of the programs you're watching, the vibrations, the noise, this all plays a big impact. I think it's my phone. We've also got covers that we can put on our phone called blue screen covers, which blocks the blue rays out. That really helps too. Honestly, didn't realise it would help literally instantly. I bought a new mattress and everything, but it was my spine that needed adjusting. Peace and chaos. So this then ties into one of the other things. When we looked at getting into flow, if you get more getting into flow into your routine, then sleep will become a lot easier. When we exercise more, sleep will become easier. When we need focus on our nutrition. So if this is a sticky area at the moment, that might not even be the area we need to focus on directly. The other areas might actually help. And this is what I love about this, is that sometimes if we just look at every other area, these will change. Like meditation for sleep is the game changer. You can literally go into a sleeping state that you create. You have fluffy pillows, you have soft music, you have all your loved ones there, you fall asleep like a baby. Get off the phone too. Getting off the phone is difficult at the moment because we're being shown all this information. We want to know what's going on. We want to know when the truth's coming. I could maybe eat earlier, meditate before, and no social media. So no social media 2 hours before. How likely is that though? And this is the thing as well, like when we put these things in place, make sure it's realistic for yourself, because even if it's half an hour earlier, that's a start initially. If that doesn't work, we can reassess it again. If that doesn't work, we can reassess it again. And like I said, we can look at all of this spectrum and something will work for you. I went weeks, it has not helped me. I spent 12 in the mattress and done nothing. If you guys are up for it, I'll take you through an experience that helped with sleep, and I'll show you a cool thing to do. And for parents out there that have trouble getting their kids to sleep or staying asleep, there's activities that you can do together jointly too. The best lives are at 7 p.m. This one was at 8, so I'll challenge that. Okay, next one, guys. Meditation. You time. No distractions. Any recommendations for music? Yes. If you, I'll send it. I'm just trying to think. Charlie, I'll send it to you on my Instagram. I've created a few playlists. Like you literally sleep like a baby. For anyone that needs healing, anyone going through cancer, anyone needs to calm the kids to bed. You can put the music on in the room and close the doors. That vibration will be vibrating in the room. And when you come in, you'll notice a difference. So meditation, you time. I saw some noughts and zeros out of 10 for meditation. Meditation is your best friend on every single part of your life. 7 p.m, that's fasting. So the key thing to start with is kind of lose the word meditation, because a lot of time we can't meditate because we can't sit still, we've got too many thoughts going on. But what we can do is create at least 10 minutes for just you. 10 minutes where there's no phone, 10 minutes where there's no kids. 10 minutes is very difficult to sit into if you're not used to it. I tried to do this and can't. That word can't, we'll change it. So with this to start with, what happens is when we sit on our own, we've got all these thoughts going on. And what I like to call these thoughts a thunderstorm. It's noisy. So you're like, shit, I can't concentrate. I've got too many thoughts. But what happens is once we sit in this space, and this is where getting flow helps also, we clear the noise. And what happens is we start hearing our gut feeling. We start tapping into our feelings of the body. We can start feeling the energy, the tightness, that heavy energy that weighs us down. But it's the noise, it's the distraction, it's the ego. I've got to do this, I've got to do that person, this person, that episode. It's constant every time. And sometimes we don't like sitting in the space, because what happens, we clear noise and your soul will go, you've got to do this, you've got to get that done. You need to tell him what you've been thinking about all day. That's fearful. So then we get distracted again. But what I encourage is when these things happen, try go beyond thoughts. Focus on the feelings. Oh God, what's that feeling? Where's that feeling? We detach. So you observe your thoughts, become the observer, and you sit with these feelings. Love, happiness, anger, stress, feeling. All the feelings are in your body. The thought comes first, the feeling always comes second. But we get caught up in our thoughts and we just associate the same thing. If we can now observe it slightly differently, you'll realise actually it's not the same thing. The thoughts are always going to be there. You're going to get these weird thoughts that come in. They come and go all the time. They just pop out of nowhere. The more you can start observing, you realise actually that's not me. I don't need to get angry. I'm just noticing it. And all of a sudden, you're in control of these feelings. And I got some really cool exercises where we can literally go the other way around. I get you to think of the feeling first, you hold it, now we get a thought. But that feeling's still there. The anger doesn't impact you anymore. And the more you can start doing that, we can start going into feelings that you want to take into bed. Love, peace, relaxation. When we create the feeling first, your bedtime improves completely after. Again, with the meditation, it doesn't always have to be quiet in the mind. The Think, Future, Feel Now concept that I've done, it's all about creation. When your eyes are closed, so we're going that thought first, feeling second. When your eyes are closed, you can literally think about whatever you want. And just to give you an example, if you guys do this with me, if you all close your eyes, I just want you to think of a loved one, smiling, laughing, an overwhelming amount of joy. Now look at me. And within that instant, we get a chemical change that takes place in our body. There's a happy feeling. That's how simple it is to disconnect. We think about what we want to think about, not what we don't. Within that feeling, that takes place within the body. Your mind controls the body. Does that make sense? So when we meditate, we can actually create. It's my most favourite part of the day. I can close my eyes and my imagination runs wild. I can literally think about whatever I want. Again, focus what I do want. My future life, my dream life. But whilst I'm thinking about it, remember I'm not my thoughts. I feel, well, that feels good. That feels good. Your feeling's the present moment every time. I think about my past, but that stress, that worry, that's now. I worry about my future. It hasn't happened yet. That worry, that's now. So if I don't know my future, I can do the opposite. I can think of what I do want, my dream life, creation. Think about it, get excited about it. I feel it. And it takes practice. But literally, that's what manifesting is, because what happens is you've felt it. That's your truth. It's real. You're vibrating on a new frequency. And just like the gym, just like learning a skill, learning language, it doesn't happen in one session. The misconception of meditation, I tried, it didn't work. If you set 9 months as a program, just the mind training that we do, and we took you through all these different things, this is what's going to happen on the membership site. Your whole life will change. Always vision, sunflowers. Your safe space, your place of bliss. And if we can go there in just 1 second and we start feeling it, once that becomes subconscious, when we're stressed, go there, bang, I'm fine again, I'm here, I'm now, I'm present. So our mind is so powerful. And again, I keep coming back to your mind controls your body. Your body is the bitch. So whatever you feed it, whatever you instruct it, whatever words come out of your mouth, your body's responding. And when we do it again and again, it then saves it in the hard drive, in the subconscious. A lot of time we're doing these things repeat. We stress the same thing. We worry about that one person, that one job, boss that's stressing us. If we do it so much, then that's just an automatic feeling that takes place in our body. So from meditation, don't think thoughts. I can't think, my mind's too busy. Get rid of thoughts, feel. Think future, feel now. So it's a disconnect. Getting into flow. Getting into flow is what I said earlier. It gets your body in harmony. You're in that flow state, which means subconscious, but you're doing what you love. It's effortless. It doesn't use any energy at all. When I'm stressing, it's using energy. So be honest with yourself now. Like, what can you do that you love doing? And if you don't know what your flow is, what can we try new? Creative stuff. And there's loads and loads of examples. I have to work on it. And that I have to work on it too, guys. That's life. Every day we have to work on it. And that's what I love about it. I just work on my life again. I'm working on my health today. Every day I have to work on it. When people say, oh, it's too hard, that's life. And again, we make it easier for ourselves and just get these ticks off. We're growing. And that's all we need to look at to start with. So getting in the flow, dancing, singing, painting, drawing, creating, literally anything that can take you out of your chaotic day. A lot of the time we don't have time for it. A lot of the time we don't see the importance of it. But even if you just did it for 30 minutes, even if you did it for 10 minutes, Sudoku, a lot of people do stuff like that. It literally takes you away from those thoughts and it gets you into that flow state. Again, the harmony. So all that stress, where all the blood's being sent away from your internal body, we can bring that back into your energy centres and your vital organs. So on that list again, find one thing that you could do this week. And then not only what do you want to do, when are you going to do it? When can I make that effort? When can I book in for that class? Working on a different bit. And that's the thing, sometimes we can't control what our work is. But if we can control our safe space in the time that we are disconnecting from work and recharge ourselves, at least we can take on the day a lot more. Too much, we take our work home with us. That then affects our sleep, family life, our relationship. And then we go back to that dreaded work again. So I'm like, if we can control the things that we can control, our mind, our choices, our words, our food, our exercise, we've got a better shot at taking on work. And then if it keeps impacting you, and that's a one area that is affecting you, then we've got to have another decision. Does this serve me enough for me to waste all my energy on it? Because there's always other options. This is again where we help people, because sometimes we've got our blinkers on and we don't think there's any other way. There's a few questions that get asked, you're like, oh, and we can find always an alternative. Or whatever's bugging you, there's things that we can do differently there as well. Okay, activity, movement. This should be a fundamental. We can all get up and just stretch while we're in bed. And people that don't know what to stretch, this is your body. It's whatever feels good. And the best way that I like to explain this is you just want to try and move your body in any way possible and hold something. Just hold. But the objective is try to send energy or a stretch at every part of your body in some way. You can stretch your leg, you can twist your leg, you reach back and you just hold. Breathe into the space and back again. On our membership on the Saturdays, we're going to be delivering a 30-minute Stretch and move class, slightly different, more dynamic stretches, but again, things that you can do on yourself. But stretching is the best way to start the day. Literally all your body's been asleep, all your joints are stiff. By doing that, you're lubricating, you're energizing them, you're sending blood around the body, you're sending blood to the mind, you're becoming present. So 5 minutes in your bed, as a minimum, is great. Tick. And then we can start adding to that. Movement, walking, getting out in nature, clearing the mind again. Yes, it might seem like a stress or we don't have time, but can we combine it with something else? Can we do self-development and walking, Audible book? Can we make a phone call if we need to and walk? That's still better than not doing anything at all. COVID again showed us for a long period that the routines become the same. And in the end, we had so much work on, even though that we didn't have to travel or anything, we don't have time to do the walks. So encouragement, and also the social life. Is there people you can go out and walk with? Is there like someone that you haven't been in touch with for a while? Go for a nice walk. Don't have to worry about the drinks and the alcohol and the fancy dinners. Yeah, pets. I didn't mention pets. Pets are amazing. And again, you have to be present with them because they're present with you. All this helps with mental health, guys. So activity at a minimum, stretching, walking. We can all do that. And this all comes back to planning. Get your diary out again. What can I do this week and when can I do it? Boom, stick it in there. And commit to it. Knowing that when you commit to it, it's going to make you feel better. Your life's going to get improve. You keep working at these, you're succeeding, you're growing. Okay, next one, self-development. There's so many different forms of this. I think Lads Talk Health gives you a nice alternative now. It gives you things to think about. We just want to stimulate the mind. We want to focus on things that help us grow. It's just an operation today, so I've been stressed and a bit upset. The FICO, if you've got that, mate, or RSO, that would be good as well, especially operations of the pets. I miss my dog, we're giving long walks and used to talk to him. For those that don't know, there's a Rent My Dog now, which you can go and walk dogs, and there's a whole database around the country, which is quite cool. Where was I then? Self-development. So I waffle on a bit. So self-development is, since my spiritual journey, my awakening, like self-development's been one of my main things. I'm learning all the time. With what's going on in the world at the moment, even if it seems a bit dark, you're learning, you're paying attention. Not only is it this information, now you're looking at people, now you're looking at how things work in politics, how things are connected, history. This is all helping because you start looking at life slightly differently. We'll look into RSA for dog. Yeah, Rick Simpson oil. I can show you examples of that. Okay, I've gone... self-development again. So Audible, for example. A lot of people say they don't have time to read books. Some people say they have to read books. I'm a big advocate of Audible, and I love listening to books that are read by the author. For some reason, it just feels like they're talking directly to me. And just the way they explain it, it's a lot easier for me to digest. I'm on the go quite a lot of time as well. So when I'm driving, for example, I put my book on and it sinks into me. Self-development, though, is also creating a space to make sure you're taking in this information. And a lot of time when we are learning, we've been told what to learn when we're at school. We're not told how to learn it. So I've got a simple thing that you can use so you can retain information so easily. And that starts with an intention. So normally we've got 3 things that you can say before you're learning anything. How can I use this? When would I use this? And why would I use this? So if you get these answers first of all, whatever you're listening to, you can apply it to. I have 3 intentions every single day. I'm a soul coach and everything I do in life affects my life. It affects my business. So I have 3. How can I use this for my clients? How can I use this for social media? And how can I use this for my public speaking? And all of a sudden I'll hear a story. Boom, I saved that. That's for this client. All of a sudden I hear an amazing story from someone else. Boom, I saved that. That's going to be on my next talk. All of a sudden something happens with my life. Boom, I saved that. That'll be a social media post. Or that'll be... And my memory is amazing now. And setting these intentions, a lot of time that we get all this in, we don't know how we're going to use it, and half the time we then don't end up using it, we forget it. So set intentions, one question: how can I use this for myself at this moment? Whatever you're working on, it'll start resonating with you a lot more. Never done Audible, can imagine it's relaxing. It is good. And also if you struggle with sleep, if you get books like The Power of Now, New Earth, The Power of Intentions, Wayne Dyer, you'll be asleep after 8 minutes. Make sure you put the sleep on. I used to listen to New Earth all the time on Audible. I didn't realise it was a sleep thing. I'm pretty sure I've downloaded that whole book now every time I went to bed. I'm listening to Conversations with God again at the moment, and I have put it on before I go to bed. I'm always asleep before 8 minutes cuts out, so I have to always go back. So just from that, again, it disconnects you from all the other chaos because you're listening. That's my way of learning on books, and also all the research I've done over the years of this alternative way of thinking. I went down some rabbit holes every single day just to understand what was going on. That information is stayed with me now. So there's always ways that you can be learning, but making sure that you are doing something, because it's all growth for yourself. What also it does, it allows you to have better conversations. It allows you to add more meaning to your life. It allows you to connect with other people. It allows you to start seeing how boring a lot of people are when they don't have nothing to talk about. What was the last book you read? Well, I haven't read one since school. What was the last thing that you did for education? Any courses? Nothing. And you realise a lot of time that after school, we just stop learning. And what I think that is down to is that at school they teach us stuff that we don't actually use, we don't find important or enjoyable. So we get to the end of school, that's it, done. But school, learning, same thing. If we can encourage our kids, listen to autobiographies, listen to these books at a younger age, and success will come your way. Another one for people to aspiring sports people. I work with children quite a lot in the child development who want to be footballers. So I'd ask people, what makes a good footballer? It'd be natural skill on the pitch, it'd be hard work, discipline, mindset. And so, you've read any books on mindset? You done anything on discipline? And people get thrown back. So find out what it takes to be whatever you want to be. And it doesn't then have to just stay in football. My thing before was fitness. And every course I did, every book I read was fitness. But yeah, if I just realised I did a bit of sleep, did a bit of mindset, did a bit of nutrition, and I'd learned about things that apply to my life, my job with clients would have been a lot easier. I'd have got results a lot quicker, and I've related to a lot more people. So I think learning is so empowering and then also inspiring to other people as well. So I'm just conscious of time. I'm just thinking, what other one I haven't done? Oh, positive thoughts and mindset. So I'll keep this one brief. So positive thoughts and mindset, it all starts with your mind. Everything does. It comes back to source. We can have all these excuses. I'm a bad sleeper. I can't lose weight. If you just change that, I can lose weight. Now I can. I am losing weight. I am a good sleeper. Even if you don't believe it to start with, the first instruction you send will vibrate in your body. Remember, your body listens to your commands. And like I said, things don't happen overnight. But if you just told yourself every night the things that you struggle with and flip it and keep saying that, then we got things journaling, gratitude, writing them down. Write down these sticky areas, flip it, tell yourself, feel it, write it. That's the confirmation. So one of my exercises is 3 things before you go to bed. 3 things that you're grateful for. It can be anything. Write them down. When you're in gratitude, you can't be in any other emotion state. So that's a really powerful one. You're thinking of all the good things that happened, not how terrible your day was. Then also, the things that are holding you back. Don't focus on what you don't want. Flip it. What do I want? Write them down, think it, feel it. Simple. That's where it can start from. But then pay attention to your words. How many negative words come out your mouth? Can you replace the negative one with a positive one? Never forget. Always remember. That little flip, that positivity that just throwing out there, is simple. Don't give up. Keep going. It's really, really powerful. I can't wait to see you. I'm excited to see you. You can feel the tone. Sorry I couldn't come. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for waiting. Thank you for understanding. You become true to your word more. So you don't say sorry unless you've really fucked up. But if you've done it once, then you're true to your word. Then make sure that you take action. And all these things will help shifting. So that's kind of giving you an overview of health holistically. My question, if you improve on all those, would your life improve? Would your weight loss improve? Would your sleep improve? Would your meditation improve? So even if our numbers are not high on one of them, if I just focus a tiny bit on the others, it's going to have influence on that one too. That's balance. So sometimes take the pressure off yourself for things that are not working for you and focus on the other ones. Enjoy it. Make a game plan that you create, that you understand, that you stick to and that you succeed from. That's self-empowerment. That means you're in control of your life. No more excuses, just choices. And you're in control of your choices. I feel I need more. You help me out so much in this madness right now. So guys, we're running, we call it a Tesh workshop. It's a foundation workshop. It's £300, 4 90-minute sessions. It's coaching. And you're going to be sharing this with other people. So that's our foundation entry. Those 4 sessions, you'll learn so much about yourself. You'll become so much more aware. You'll be more in tune with your health. But you have me and Jamie at your disposal as well. The Lads Talk Health Community, the membership, I'm hoping, launches tomorrow. That one's going to have daily experiences every day. Me and James are going to be taking it in turns delivering them. There'll be a weekly education workshop on there. And there'll be a monthly coaching session on there. But the beauty of all this, it's then allowing the community to take place as well. You're going to be interacting with everyone. I only want people that want to grow, that want to bring peace, want to bring love. And on this platform and all you guys that are supporting us, that's what we're getting at the moment. Within the darkness, there's a lot of light, and I'm hoping we're going to see more of that. There's also going to be places where businesses and small business owners are going to be able to not advertise, but they're going to be resources that we can go to so we can support each other. We're looking at the dating side of things as well. We have networking nights. So it's going to build. And then what I'm also going to put out to you is we want to grow with you. So within that, there's going to be opportunities. We need help. But we know what our game plan is, and we know the impact that we want to make and share this with everyone else. So within that, there's opportunities to work with us and grow with us. Financially be rewarded too. But I think the world needs a state of happiness at the moment. And if we all come together on this vibration that we are given at the moment, we'll change the world very quickly. So yeah, I'm really excited to let you guys know when this comes out. It should be tomorrow. But every day you can start off with one of our experiences. That's your mind done straight away. Then whatever else comes your way, you're at least going to be fully charged, ready to take it on, fully present. So I hope that helped tonight. And if you guys got any questions on all of them, please do reach out. We're going to do the live that was meant to with James within the fitness industry and my experience and different insights there. You'll like that one. And again, just to let you know, on Friday night, we're doing the experience. James is taking his 15-year-old client, Daisy, who's been suffering cancer for a while and had an ordeal with the NHS and the legal system. And she's been defeating them. She's holding her breath now for 5 minutes, and James is going to be taking her. But we want you to bring your kids, bring your loved ones, like share the breath. Let's give love to Daisy as well, because you'll see how special she is. It's going to be amazing, amazing energy, and you're all going to take something away from it too. And again, there's a toolbox that you can now park for yourself and go to any single time. So thank you for your time tonight, and I hope that made sense. If you've only just tuned on now, go back through it. And guys, get your pen out. Start becoming present. Start paying attention to your current reality and just realise, right, I'm here now. And then let's start making these small steps forward. Set yourself up for success. Keep growing, and then you're going to literally start changing your life very quickly. 8 o'clock on Friday. The Telegram group, we've got more information on that. And I've also just sent the video story of Daisy. I'd highly recommend it because you'll realise how backward this whole system is. and you'll see how corrupt this pharmaceutical industry is as well. Like, you'll feel it, and you see the frustration in James the whole time. It's 2 parts. I think it's nice to see the story. It is long, but you'll learn so much about what goes on, and it'll be new information and awareness that can help you and loved ones, because it all plays a part in all of our life. So thank you again, guys, and I will catch you very soon.